Okay, we're back with another LEGO Reconstruction video. And today we're down in the first Hoth level from LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. And this is a big one. We're going to look at how Han's big satellite dishes are built, and there's some interesting techniques and some very new pieces to discover, so stick around and join me as we build Han's big dish. It looks like a square made up out of triangles, so let's try. Well, there's two there, so 1, 2, 3, there's 4, so let's try 4x4. A 4x4 wedge. It's not really a square, but it's a octagon. The 1x2 slopes are sitting on something. Let's use 2x2 plates, because if we look, you can see that there's tiles beside them resting on something. So let's put in our slopes now. Okay, and then between them, they're sitting on a load of round plates. And on top of those are, I thought they were triangle tiles, but they're quarter circle tiles. Then we've got single tiles. I'm going to put 4x4 plates in here. Then on top there's the squares of corner tiles to hold the body of it together. I'm going to use a modified tile with a pin. I know I said I wasn't going to do any terminals anymore, but I lied. Okay, so one side doesn't have the slopes, so let's pick a side. Pick this side. 1x4 plates with studs. Yeah, these. We'll start by putting a 2x2 on top of these studs. If we put that there, and another one on this side, and that's just attached to the slopes on these sides here. A 1x2 tile on top of the slopes, and then like a wedge tile in front of them. If we put a 4x2 plate here and put some of these, then a 1x4 plate beside it, finally some 1x2 plates underneath it, here and here, and then fill this gap with another one. We can put our wedge tiles. 1 and 2, probably need another tile in the center. 2x2 wedge plate underneath there. A grill. So that looks like a 1x4 tile up the side, so it must have some studs. There's a newer brick that wasn't out when this was made, I don't think. So I put that there, and then another one on top, and I can do a 1x4 tile down each side. Perfect. And then that looks like a 2x4 plate on it. On top of that 2x4 plate, I think there's a 3x2 plate. It's a 4x3 wedge. The computer screen looks like a 2x2 curved slope. Well, that's a cheese slope, a 2x1 cheese slope on the bottom. But there's something on top of it with these controls. It looks a bit like a bracket, but the bracket would have studs on it there. Unless there's... Oh, I know what it is. It's a panel. It's a 1x2 panel, like this. And then we need a 1x2 plate. Actually, I think we need 2 of them. We need 2 of them, and then a double width cheese slope. It looks like there's a big wide plate running the whole length of it. This middle grey plate seems to be the center. So let's start with a brick for the pin. Start with a 4 to give it some support. So the center brick is 3 plates wide. The center is going to be the grey plate. Then the dark grey plate behind it is the base where it's starting, and then it's going to take the first plate of the slopes at the front. So it needs to have 2 1x4 plates on top of it, or there, to even it out. These big slopes at the front are 2x3 slopes. So if I one there, and one there to hold it together. Then in front of that there's just standard 1x2 slopes. Then on that is a 1x12 plate, a 2x12 plate, sorry. Then behind it, it looks like it's a 2x4. Okay, we've got another one up here, then a 2, and then just a standard 2x2 slope in white. Yeah. With some more of these. We need something to support those as well, so I'll put in a 2x4 brick there for some support. I think these are more of the slopes with a notch carved out, because they're the same size, as same angle as that. So there's 2 of them. And then the white slopes, they're more 3x white slopes, but they're offset. So if we put a 6x2 plate across it, and then put 2 of these on there, although I don't think it's that. If we look, there's another white above it, so I think it's a 4x6 plate instead of a 2. So then there's something holding it, and it probably needs to go up because it's holding that upper arm construction. I'm going to put another 6x4 plate behind it, like that. Then on the side there's 1x4 tiles. On either side. This time round that looks like a cheese slope. There's also 2 in there. This tile with the Rebellion logo on it, it's got to be on something. There must be a 4x2 plate on there first, and a 2x2 plate on it as well, to give us the space for the tiles on either side. I'm going to use a blank 2x2 tile because I can't find one with a Rebel logo. Oh, we've got this front bit to do. More of these slopes. And down at the bottom. And a 2x2 plate. And a 4x2 plate on top. Above that we've got a turntable base without the turntable, with 2 grills below it. So we've got these 2x1 inverted slopes. One there. Then it looks like there's another one there, then 2 of those. Then we've got a 2x2 inverted slope on the first ones, but we've got a 3x1 inverted slope because you can see the little notch cut out. Okay, let's make this slightly stronger. Let's put a 2x4 plate in there. And then I think I can attach a 2x6 brick onto the back of it. Then I should be able to attach something to the 2x6 and these. So I'm going to put another 4x6 plate in. And now I can put the 2x4 bricks in. And I should probably fill that gap up too. Now finally I can put a 2x4 plate. I'll put a little bricks like that in as well, just for some extra support. Let's do these arms with the cables. I'm not going to do the cables because cables don't work very well on Studio and I don't like them. So I just pretend they don't exist. So we've got these 4 slopes there, and then there's, it looks like a 1x4 plate in light blue. So on top of this 1x4, there's another 1x4. On it, there's 1x2 plates. One there and one there. So under that, on top of that, then there's just another inverted brick and what looks like a Technic brick. And into that hole goes a flex hose. So underneath that, we've got another light grey 1x2 and an inverted curved slope. And another stud. What's this thing sitting on top? So that's a handle with a jumper and some bits and pieces. And then there's a 2x1 plate with a clip. But there's the 2 studs. Hold on. That's just sitting there. Oh. That's not held on by anything. I'm not sure what to do with them. Let's try this. Still need that. Because they're kind of nice little extras. I don't want to not have them. Let's put a bracket on. This type of bracket. There, and then fill that hole with a single plate. Now I can get the plate with a handle and at least connect it to there. Well, what is it? On top of that there's a jumper. On top of the jumper is a stud with a bar. There's a round tile on top. And then there's a 1x2 plate with a clip. Well, it's not exactly right, but it's there. It's attached. So let's duplicate that and put it over onto the other side. And now we can just fix up the differences because these aren't there. That's on there. And that must have a half pin. With what looks like a 1x2 round plate. With the round tiles with a straight edge. Okay, sticking out of it, it looks like we've got some 1x2 round. Then there's a inverted slope, and it looks like an inverted curved slope there. I'm not sure how that those 3s are on yet, but I'll have a think about it while I get there. First up, we've got a round plate on each side. Then on the back of that, we've got a single inverted slope. So we need something in there to hold it together. So that would be a 6x1 plate. And then it's inverted curved slope. So I think if we put a 1x4 plate in, then we can have a 1x4 brick slotting in there. I think if we put a 1x2 plate in this gap, then I think what that is on, we've got 2 here and we need 3, so that's a jumper. That's a 1x3 jumper with just 3 studs in it. Well, that's another bar with a stud, one facing up and one facing down. Then on the front, there's just a round tile on each of them. And then back here we've got Baraki Eye. A bar with a light bulb, also known as a Baraki Eye from Bionicles. But it can't go in there because there's no hole through those studs. What I'm going to do is just put a stud with a hole on it anyway, because then it'll just fit in. And then duplicate it. It looks sort of like this is flipped, because those are 3x2 slopes, and they don't seem to have the semicircle notch. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's put a modified 4, a force knot in like that, and put some of these on it. 3x2 slope there. No, that's way too far out. Yeah, it needs to be set back. So what if we tried... What if I put a 4x4 plate? What if I put a 4x4 plate in here? And attach that on there. And then put those modified bricks back on. You see that doesn't come far enough out over there. So what if I put brackets on? A bracket on each. Then we put these on. Oh, I think that could be it. Oh, that looks annoyingly promising. Oh. Haha. That worked. Okay, let's hide all this. I mean, it takes about a minute to do it in reverse. It's a very simple thing when you do it in reverse, but it had these little curves in the slopes, which I didn't like because they don't have them in the model. And that's the match on the way up. And then it flips as well. 2 1x4 curved slopes. A 2x2 plate hiding inside. We've got 2 wedges up here, and then 2 more of the slopes with notches in them with a smooth top. So we've got this hole, so I'm going to just put another 1x4 modified brick in there with the snots. So I'm going to put it that way, if I can get it. And then put the 2x2 wedge bricks on top. I've recently ordered a load of these from Bricklink, and I could never find them because I always call them slopes and they're wedges. So I remember that now. They're wedges. We've got these 2 slopes. So yeah, now I have loads of these 2x2 wedge bricks for all my rocky outcrop needs. I need 2 of those, and I need 1x2 plates. For people who don't think I actually build things with bricks, I do sometimes. Well, I mean, I do regularly. I just don't have any way to film them. Okay, let's get these antennae done. What have we got here? I don't know what that is. I've never seen that brick before. Is that a hammer? I don't know what that is. Let's start the other side, because I know what they are. So first off, there's 2 round studs. A brick modified with the adjacent studs on it. There's a nozzle. It looks like a gun. It's used as a gun sometimes, but it's technically a fuel pump nozzle. A round 1x2 plate is on the side there. And on top there's a cone. And it looks like a 6L bar. Then on the side there's a what's that called? A lever. And then another stud. Okay, so that's that side. This next side, there's the stud. And I don't know what that thing is. With an arm, a couple of arms. I guess I'll have a look and see. Wow, I've worked it out. Well, when I say worked it out, I mean I've just looked through everything on this. And it is a minifigure utensil space scanner tool. It looks like this. I think this is the way it's used. And clip on there. Well, there we go. We've learned something today. We've learned about the space scanner tool. I've put on a stud on top of that, and then the next thing up is a megaphone. And on top of that, we've got another lever. Now, on the side, it's a utensil spiral pole attachment with 2 bent handles. Oh, these things don't attach. Oh. I wonder how they've attached it. Well, I think they've jammed a little bit of something inside it. Let's get a 2L bar and put that in. Okay, I'm going to say that's a little bit of cheating. I mean, it all looks very kind of cool. But it does feel like a little tiny bit of cheating. with trimming the ends of things, and I'll let them away with it because it's cool. We need to attach the other wedges. If we put a 1x2 snot brick on here, then we can see if they'll hold on. Perfect. Exactly placed. So that's the two up there. Then below it, I guess we need to fill this out. If I put a 2x2 brick either side, it looks like it's just a 6x2 plate. And then there's a 2x4 tile. Two 2x1s. And then the same but with Technic holes. And then two grills. It's a 2x4 Technic brick, 2x4 by 1 and 4 plates with pinholes and cutout. So it looks like that. And then if we put two pins, very definitely need friction pins. And slot that in there and put a 2x2 tile on it. Then there's just two 1x2 bricks. Now it looks like a 2x4 plate before it disappears into the satellite dish itself. So I guess we'll need to look at the satellite dish. Yeah, I think it's the old panel. The old panel that they used to make the original Millennium Falcon with. 10x10 panel, yeah, looks like this. So we need 4 of these, but we need them to fit around this thing here. So I'll put it to the side for now. And I'm going to build through so there's something for it to sit on with some 2x4 bricks just. So that it kind of sits on that. So if we look on each edge, there's a grill holding it together. This is a huge dish. It doesn't come in white, which is awkward. So that's what we're working with. I think it comes in old blue grey. Oh, old light grey, maybe black, and trans yellow, maybe trans neon yellow. Because to hold it on, we've got some wedge plates. 6x3 wedge plates, yeah. That's clip on there to those 2x4s we put through. So this holds it in place. I'm not convinced that all of this can support the weight of all this. If you do manage to build this for yourself, send me pictures and let me know if it holds together. If I can get my hands on some of these dishes, I might try it myself. So, also on the back, we've got these bars with studs. Now we just have this stuff in the middle. Just looks like some round tiles and slopes, cheese slopes. One there. And then some cheese slopes. So that's the back of our dish done. Let's put the lights on first. We're going to use an inverted stud and then another Baraki eye. To go into the back of the stud and duplicate that in all 4 places. This looks like a lot of brackets. First one I'm going to put on, I'll put it there, make it black so we can see it. Then the next one goes there, and and there. And then finally, there's one there. Then next we've got the 1x2 modified plate, which has the socket connection on it. And then there's a grill. I think that's an inverted tile, so there must be another 1x2 there. A 2x2 modified tile with the studs on the back to slot in there. And now it's just a lot of slopes and extra little bits. Then a few cheese slopes. More bars with studs. With a round tile on top. Now we'll do the center column. If I start with the 2x3 slopes. Then there's some studs up the side. Then there's a round brick. And then a third stud. And that goes around the 4 places. 2x2 wedges the whole way round. We need to add some 2x2 wedge bricks. And then there's a fluted 2x2 round brick. It looks like a round tile, and it probably has a hole through it, because otherwise the rest of it can't hold on. So that means we need an axle through the centre. That's an octagon plate. There's a black bush there. Then that's like the satellite dish with holes in it. Then another fluted brick. And then a nose cone. And then it's tipped off with a single stud. Okay, then we need to finally get these rods. So I'm going to build them out of the way and then I can try and attach them. That's a ball joint on a pin. Attaching to pin connectors. Then we just need to slot a few of them together. 4 of them. Then delete the last pin. So the last pin is going to be a half pin onto which a clip sits. And we can try to angle it and rotate it so that it connects onto the octagonal plate. Finally, we just need to attach the clips with studs on the other part of the octagonal plate. Right, and I think that is it. So I will unhide everything else and we can render it up.